Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanam Hridiyantasto hi abhadrani vidhunoti sruhit satam Nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shlokir bhakti bhavati naishtikir. Jai. So we'll begin with reading this beautiful verse from Canto 4, Chapter 11, verse number 21. Ayushopachayam jantos tathaivopachayam vibhu ubhabhyam rahitah swastho dushthasya vidadhati asau. Ayusho apachayam janto tathaivopachayam vibhu ubhabhyam ruhita swastho dushthasya vidadhati asau. Ayusho apachayam jantos tathaivopachayam vibhu ubhabhyayam rahita swastho dushthasya vidadhati asau. It has lots of tongue twisters. So anyone who would like to be participate,
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.
Prabhu, please.
Ayusho upachayam janto tatoiva upachayam vibhu ubhayapayam rahito shasto duhastasya vidadati asho. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Beautiful. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare
I can
Krishna.
also try.
Please.
Ayusho pochayam jantos tathaiva pochayam vibhu ubhabhyam rahito shasto dustasya vidadati asho. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, can I try?
Yes, Mataji.
Ayusho pachayam jantos tathaiva pachayam vibhu upabhyam rahita swastho dusthasya vidadhati asho. Hare Krishna.
I am trying, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Ayusho pachayam jantos tathaiva upachayam vibhu ubhabhyam rahita sastho dusthasya vidhayati aso. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So we can now read the synonyms. Ayusha, of duration of life. Apachayam, diminution. Jantoho, of the living entities. Tatha, similarly. Eva, also. Upachayam, increase. Vibhuhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ubhabhayam, from both of them. Rahitaha, free. Swasthaha, always situated in his transcendental position. Dhustasya, of the living entities under the laws of karma. Vidadhati, awards. Asau, he. So translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu is all-powerful, and he awards the results of one's fruitive activities. Thus, although one living entity's duration of life is very small, whereas that of another is very great, he is always in his transcendental position, and there is no question of lessening or increasing his duration of life. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Is there any volunteer who would like to read the purport?
Can I try, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you.
Both the mosquito and Lord Brahma are living entities in the material world. Both are minute sparks and are part of the Supreme Lord. The very short duration of the life of the mosquito and the very long duration of life of Lord Brahma are both awarded by the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to the results of their karma. But in the Brahma Samhita, we find it is said, Karmani Nirdahati. The Lord diminishes or vanquishes the reactions of the devotees. The same fact is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Yajnartat karmano anyatra. One should perform karma only for the purpose of satisfying the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, one is bound by the action and reaction of karma. Under the laws of karma, a living entity wanders within the universe under the rule of eternal time. And sometimes he becomes a mosquito and sometimes Lord Brahma. To a sane man, this business is not very fruitful. Bhagavad Gita 9.25 gives a warning to the living entities. Yanti Deva Vrata Deva. Those who are addicted to worship of demigods go to planets of demigods. And those who are addicted to worship of the Pitas, forefathers, go to the Pitas. Those who are inclined to material activities remain in the material sphere. But persons who engage in devotional service reach the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where there is neither birth nor death nor different varieties of life under the influence of the laws of karma. The best interest of the living entity is to engage himself in the devotional service and to go back home, back to Godhead. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur advised, my friend, you are being washed away in the material nature's waves of time. Please try to understand that you are the eternal servant of the Lord. Then everything will stop and you will be eternally happy. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Beautiful purport by Srila Prabhupada and very nicely read by Prabhuji. So thank you, Prabhuji. This is a wonderful verse, and before we are able to unfold and understand, let's seek some blessings from our Guru and Srila Prabhupada so that this becomes a little more understandable to us. Om Ajnanatirmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Veer Krishna Das Goswami Niti Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. We can read the translation one more time and then we can do a very quick recap on where we are. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is all-powerful and he awards results of one's fruitive activities. Thus, although one's living entity's duration of life is very small, whereas that of another is very great, he is always in his transcendental position. And there is no question of or increasing his duration of life. So we are in that section where in this chapter, Swayambhuva Manu here advises Dhruva Maharaj. And in the previous verses we read, Swayambhuva Manu gives reasons not to kill the yakshas. And we learned that how the Lord is pleased, Lord is pleased by serving his devotees. And then we understand the Lord here from verse number 15, that Lord is the ultimate cause, as the ultimate cause is the Supreme Lord. So we talked a little bit about creation and the creation, maintenance, and destruction. And Lord is indirectly the cause because of his inconceivable energies. And Lord is the supreme authority. Now in text 19, 20, 21, we see Lord as time. We see Lord as time, and Lord is neutral. We don't see, but that these verses actually answer our question, is the Lord partial? So yesterday, His Grace Poshak Madhav Prabhuji very beautifully took us into that we all are responsible for our actions, but for devotees, the Lord is special and Lord is partial. So as time, Lord is indestructible, beginningless, and inexhaustible, and therefore he's the cause of birth and death of all living entities. Then Lord, as time, is neutral. So we can't accuse him of injustice in this material world. So everyone, Lord is neutral to everyone. Therefore, everyone suffers or enjoys the results of his own karma, but follows time. As in the previous verse, as dust particles are carried by the wind, someone may have, and in this verse, someone may have long life or short life, but the Lord remains always transcendentally situated. So when we actually come to this section where we often come, this is a very interesting verse in the sense that we often blame Krishna. And we say that, why me? Why does this happen to me? Or we often have this question, why bad things happen to good people? So this verse and the previous verse has a very, very beautiful answer to this. And we understand it from the point of view of our responsibility. And so this verse and the previous verse actually clears those doubts, like where is God's role in this, in our suffering, or where is God's role in our happiness? So this verse will answer such questions. So Srila Prabhupada clearly explains the position of God in the how the Lord is present in the material world in the form of time. So there are five subjects which are in Bhagavad Gita. And does any one of you want to recap on the 5 subjects that is in Bhagavad Gita, that is discussed, that is the discussion in Bhagavad Gita? The 5, yes.
Ishar, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma.
Yes. So Ishwar, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. And which is eternal? What factors are eternal?
Isha.
Ishwar is eternal.
Except karma, all the factors are eternal.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. So, except karma, all the factors are eternal, which means that we have understood from this that because we are living entities, we are eternal. But then, if we are eternal, there must be some reason for us to be coming to this material world. So, the essence of all the scriptures is to love the Lord, isn't it? We've always learned it in all the scriptures that the essence of devotional service is to create prema in our heart. So, because of this love, there is this freedom of choice. Like you can't love anybody out of force. Is this possible? Can a mother love the child out of force? Oh, I have to love the child. Is it possible? Is in this material world? So, because we have got the free choice, the freedom to choose who to love and who not to love, because of this free will, we either we love God or we don't love God. So, because of our forgetfulness of not being able to love God, this is a place, this is a practice ground for us, so that forgotten relationship that I want to enjoy like Krishna has put us to, okay, then you have to serve Krishna. So then this is our practice place. And in this practice place called material world, this is a beautiful opportunity for all living entities to participate in the loving of God, in the learning of loving of God. So when we actually see this part of material world, we should think that this is not a bad place. I mean, why do we always talk about this as material world is a bad place, like jail, for example, prison house? Of course, it's a place of punishment, but what is the higher cause of having prison house in a state? What is the higher cause of who likes to go to the hospital? Nobody likes to go to the hospital, but hospital is needed. Similarly, who likes to go to the prison house? So these are reformatory places. These are places where we become, where we go with our disease and we become free of that disease and we go back to our home. We don't live in the hospital forever and we don't live in the prison house. We don't intend to live. Any person of intelligence will not intend to live in the prison house forever, even if there's huge facilities given to us. We always long for home. Like most of us may have this experience of just staying one night in the hospital is such a torture for us. Even if we are getting facilities of having a 5-star bed or comfortable environment, still we don't like that place. So this is a place to come back to that healthy state. So that's a good news for us. We should not worry too much about why am I here in this material world. We know very well that yes, I'm sick, I'm diseased, therefore I'm being cured. So this is my practice place, because what is the aim and what is the goal? What is the beginning and what's the end in devotional service? The beginning is serving Krishna, and the goal is also serving Krishna. Initially, we begin with no love or forgotten love, and the goal, by the practice, we develop prema in our heart, so that when we go back to the kingdom of God, to the spiritual world, we serve the Lord with love, voluntarily. So this tells us that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, is all-powerful, and he awards the results of one's fruitive activities. So yes, definitely, it is he, the Supreme Lord, Krishna, who awards the results. And then we'll come to that section a bit later. So let's come back to this material nature again. Material nature provides the soul with the body of 8.4 million species of life, or 8,400,000 species. And these species are consciousness that we want to be in. Why? Because of our desires. Does any one of you know how many species, how many humanoid species are there? How many aquatics? How many plants, birds, animals?
The human is 400,000.
Yes, Prabhu. So we see that there's this number segregated. So everything is very nicely arranged in the material world. And these different bodies provide different levels of consciousness. And as these different levels of consciousness are there, we are given different facilities because we want those bodies. So material world is called Durg, and Durg actually means a very, very difficult, very, very difficult is the meaning of Durg. Now, what is difficult about Durg? We know that it's a good place. It's a place where I can fulfill my desires. The arrangements are made in such a beautiful way that whatever I desire, I can get it because of my good karmas, and Krishna will award. The scriptures tell us that the Lord will award the results of one's fruitive activities. Then what is so good about this? What is so difficult about this place?
Mataji, that binds us. We cannot go out of the cycle of birth and death by whatever punya karma we do. That only really binds us to remain in this level of material existence.
Thank you, Prabhu. Beautifully said. Yes, this is a maze which would not let us go out, and it will make us keep forgetting our relationship with Krishna. And by what factor is this material world making us bind here? By the factor of time. So by the factor of time, we see that however facilities we may have in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions Lord Brahma or mosquito. They have their facilities according to their body, according to their life. But according to their karma, they've got these facilities. But the point here is, why are we so entangled in these facilities that we have actually forgotten that by the influence of time, we are not able to leave this vicious circle of birth, disease, death, repeatedly in different bodies. So the bars, even though they are invisible, they are the bars of the state of forgetfulness. That like a prison house has bars, and we are so much forgetful of our situation here that it's difficult for us to go back to Godhead. So therefore, knowing the fact that Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Dukhalayam ashasvatam, we are still happy to be here in the material world. Why? Because it's very binding. Even if after listening to so many instructions, we are holding ourselves here, then definitely something is wrong with us. So what is that I'm creating for myself, and I'm trying to live in 100, 200, 500, 84, 100,000 species of life and enjoying it. It's my karma. So there's this Newton's law, every action has equal and opposite reaction. So we are accountable. Being here, we have to be responsible for what is awarded to us. We are not here because we are forgetful of Krishna. Therefore, we are responsible for our actions. So as we are responsible for our actions, we create karmas for ourselves. So as we create karmas, we may create good karmas. Some may understand that, oh, karmas or good karmas are good, so we should always do good and earn good karma. But what is the difference between good karmas and bad karmas? Of course, we have understood very clearly that if we commit anything wrong and if our karmas are bad, then our destination is hell. I don't want to suffer so much. But what about good karmas? Good karmas also put us in that binding. So if bad karma is poison, good karma is a sugar-coated poison. It's Amog Leela Prabhu, actually, His Grace Amog Leela Prabhu, few months ago, I was listening to his lecture, and he used this word, poison and sugar-coated poison, which was like very attractive, very nice. So if we understand that sugar-coated poison, after all, we're eating poison, be it sugar-coated or bitter one, doesn't matter. It is poison. So therefore, what is that factor that is making us create the karmas? We will come to that very point where we want to stop our creating karmas. So what is the reason behind creating karmas? Would anyone like to answer this?
Our desire.
Yes, it is our desire. So as long as we don't change our desires, as long as now the desires, again, desires can't be stopped because we are living entities and we have the spark. In that case, we can't be without desires. Is Krishna without desires? No. We can't be without desires. It is not possible to stop our desires. So the philosophies that we talk about, stop your desire, is totally not workable. It's not going to work for us because we will be suppressing our desires and one day it will explode with something very negative. So in that case, what we can do with our desires?
Our desire. Okay, sorry.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Our desire should be Krishna's pleasure.
Yes, our desire should be with Krishna's pleasure, but we don't love Krishna right now at the moment. So how can we think about Krishna? And how can we even think of pleasing Krishna? Yes, for sure, our desire should be to please Krishna. And that can be pleased when we connect our desires with Krishna. Which means if I'm doing anything for you, for the sake of you, I will never enjoy that. But we all living entities have this. What's in it for me? What is it for me? What am I going to get in this? So you see, so desires are not bad, but how to tailor those desires is a very tricky part. We may be reading from our scriptures that, okay, please Krishna. But how can we please Krishna until and unless we feel connected to Krishna? And Krishna is so compassionate. Krishna is extremely compassionate. We may understand this way that, this superknoted entanglement in karmas Krishna, I think I'll be stuck here. But at the same time, we may question Krishna and we may say that probably Krishna is all knowledgeable, but he's not very compassionate. Therefore, he has given me such and such problems in my life. Or we may think that Krishna is knowledgeable, maybe compassionate, but he doesn't have that power to, because he says, I am aloof. So he doesn't have that power to actually interfere in my karmas. Or we may say that Krishna is not all knowledgeable. So this is incomplete knowledge of Krishna that disconnects us, because there is a sense of doubt. So the moment we don't doubt, like the child doesn't doubt any little spark, any little minute, there's no minute, we actually have trust issues with Krishna. Let's accept this part. We have trust issues with Krishna. Even if after reading a lot of scriptures, we still think, oh, this is my karma, so I'm enjoying this. This is my karma, so for a devotee, there is nothing like that. So, because we as living entities have been living in this world eternally, in this material world eternally, we have developed this very beautiful quality, which is not so beautiful, and that is doubt. Even after reading so many instructions, we still doubt. So if we are in doubt, where do we go?
Yeah, we go to somebody who knows about it.
Yes, we go to someone who knows about it. And who is this someone who knows about it?
Sadhu Shastra Guru?
Yes, Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. And then when our injunctions are made clear, then for a devotee, it becomes very easily to surrender to Krishna, to trust Krishna. So because the link of just theoretically understanding that I'm going to please Krishna, but what will be Anya Abhilashita Shunyam is not right now at I'm talking about my stage. It's right now not there. So I have definitely to develop a relationship with Krishna where I see my position in Krishna's world. And what is my position? The first instruction that is given to us in Bhagavad Gita is, I am not this body. And if I'm not this body, why is my body enjoying and reciprocating with good karmas and bad karmas, when all this calculation seems to be a very, very out of context situation for us? Why? Because we're not dealing with the soul level at all. So where is I am a beautiful soul, and I'm part and parcel of Krishna. This is what Krishna has told clearly in Bhagavad Gita. So when we understand that I am soul and Krishna is the super soul, he's the supreme personality of Godhead, and I am his part and parcel, then what is it that is actually disconnecting me from Krishna? My heart is disconnecting me from Krishna. And where is my heart? My heart is in fulfillment of material desires. That's the reason why I'm sitting here in this body, because I desired it. So where is Krishna responsible? But Krishna is definitely responsible in facilitating me in such a way that this life I could meet, I could have the association of devotees, so that I can, in my forgotten state, I have come somewhere to understand that Krishna is all powerful. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So the devotees are always thankful of whatever Krishna has planned for him or her. So under the laws of karma, a living entity wanders within the universe. And it is by the rule of eternal time, we take different bodies. And we don't have to come out of this rule. We will, as devotees, we will be under this rule, but without doubt, but with the connection. For example, we'll say now the word desire comes very interestingly in Dhruva Maharaj's story. Desire here for Dhruv Maharaj was Dhruv Maharaj asks for a kingdom bigger than his great grandfather or grandfather, and then so on. All that story continued. But then at the time when Dhruv Maharaj actually had the association of Krishna, and Krishna was giving, the Supreme Lord Vishnu is giving what he desires, at that point, he knew that whatever he was asking was all futile. So he changed his desire. He definitely changed his desire. And as he changed his desire, I could say he shifted, the desire was automatically shifted. So Srila Prabhupada has given us such a beautiful program in Krishna consciousness, where we are changing the consciousness, where Srila Prabhupada is making us change the consciousness from material consciousness to Krishna consciousness. So our consciousness, the material consciousness, is the result of, or material consciousness is equal to desire in material world, enjoyment in material world, and Krishna consciousness is equal to desire in Krishna, or desire to serve Krishna, or desire anything related to Krishna. More information of karma is given here in 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. We'll just quickly go by reading the translations only from text 11 to text 18. Is there any volunteer who would like to read text 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18?
Mataji, I can try for that. 11.
Thank you very much. 11.
It is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities, but he who renounces the fruits of action is called one who has truly renounced. Shall I continue, or someone
Yes,
can?
Prabhu, please continue.
For one who is not renounced, the threefold fruits of action, desirable, undesirable, and mixed, accrue after death. But those who are in the renounced order of life have no such result to suffer or enjoy. And 13, O mighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all actions. Now learn of this from me. The place of action, the body, the performer, the various senses, the many different kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. These are the 5 factors of action. Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, and speech is caused by these 5 factors. And 16, therefore, one who thinks himself the only doer, not considering the 5 factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. One who is not motivated by false ego, whose intelligence is not entangled, though he kills man in the world, does not kill, nor is he bound by his actions. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower are the 3 factors that motivate action. The senses, the work, and the doer are the 3 constituents of action. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So in this, we would like to focus on this section: the place of action, body, the performer, the various senses, the many kinds of endeavor, and ultimately the super soul. So these are the 5 factors of action. So we develop our karma based on these 5 factors. Now, let's unwind that and calculate it differently. How can we use these 5 factors? Because without these 5 factors, we can't be existing in this, because desire is one factor which is pushing us to do. So a place of action or body, Krishna, the performer for Krishna, the various senses engaged in Krishna conscious activity, the many kinds of endeavor, all for Krishna, and ultimately the super soul pleased. Isn't it beautiful? If we just understand it that way, that of course, I am using it, all these, in my creating of that vicious circle of karma. And if I want to go out of this, these 5 factors are the ones that are going to help me. So the place of action, this body is being used for Krishna. The performer, the soul, desiring to serve Krishna. The various senses engaged in the service of Krishna. All my endeavor to please Krishna. And what comes in the end? Ultimately, the super soul being pleased. Why will Krishna not be pleased with us in serving him when he is already pleased with us, having our material consciousness? So that is a very, very interesting point of leaving this whole scenario, leaving this whole maze game, like spider web, where to go, what not to do, what to do, what not to do. Krishna consciousness is very simple. So, but we have to take it simply. How can we take Krishna consciousness simply? Krishna tells us here. Yat karoshi yadashnasi, yat juhosi dadasi yat, yat tapasyase kaunteya, tat kurushva madarpanam. So Krishna did not mention here yat as something which is do this, do that. Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerities you perform, do that as an offering to me. Now, when we are offering anything, I think any intelligent person is not going to offer anything bad to Krishna. This often comes up as a question, like, if I kill Krishna, if I kill somebody, can I offer that to Krishna? No. The intelligence, because the purpose is serving Krishna, then Krishna, that's the doubt that we create in Krishna, that, okay, if I do wrong, then I can offer this to Krishna. Why will Krishna give us that intelligence? So at first place, if Krishna is in our consciousness, why will I do anything wrong? So it negates that even the thought of whatever doesn't mean bad things as well. Whatever means, now that you're not in the habit of focusing yourself in the regulative principles, whatever means you're trying hard. But be in my consciousness. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So if I come back to this section, do it for me, and then we'll just go back to this this verse saying that those who are addicted to the worship of demigods go to the planets of the demigods, and those who are addicted to the worship of pitas, forefathers, go to the pitas, and those who are inclined to material activities remain in the material sphere. But persons who are engaged in devotional service reach the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, where there is neither birth nor death nor different varieties of life under the influence of law of karma. So here Krishna is giving us a very, very clear formula. Don't entangle yourself in karmas. But if we want to focus our doing, our eating, our offering, our giving away in terms of getting something or not getting something, or creating good or bad, then Krishna has already given us the free will. You decide, your choice, but Krishna still loves us. It's not like Krishna will hate us still. Krishna is waiting for us. Krishna is waiting for us. But then after so much gyan and karma, if we haven't developed devotional service, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Anya abhilashita shunyam jnana karmadik anavritam anukuliyena krishnanam shilanam bhakti uttamam. Then after doing all these process of devotional service, the first class devotional service, when it develops, then our heart should be devoid of material desires. Our heart should be devoid of jnana. Our heart should be devoid of karma. And then our heart should only have this desire of constantly serving Krishna favorably as Krishna desires, because the desires have to meet through the heart. My heart's desire and Krishna's desire should meet. When this meeting takes place, then we are doing the service without ahaituki apratihata, with ahaituki and apratihata concept. So, of course, it's a very difficult thing. And so, in the end, in the purport, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, my friend, you're being washed away in material nature's waves of time. Please try to understand that you are the eternal servant of the Lord. Then everything will stop. Everything will stop here in the material world, because material energy does not have the power to stop anyone from Krishna's service. And you will be eternally happy. So with these prayers that all of us are endeavoring, and our endeavors is to serve the spiritual master, serve Srila Prabhupada's mission, and serve Guru Gauranga, Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and then ultimately our ability to serve Sri Sri Radha Giridhari, Sri Radha and Krishna. So with this, I'll stop my discussion here. If there's anything that you want to add or comment, please feel free. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Krishna
What a
Prabhu.
beautiful class. Yeah, this is all about our body and soul. When we are attached to the body, all things happens. But we don't try to understand that body and soul, they are differently identified. And there is the problem we are facing every time. When he relates everything in relation to the body, and then all these sufferings and whether it is happiness or distress comes through. So when you get the knowledge that body and soul, they are different in relation to Krishna, then all these sufferings can be diminished. And slowly we can go back to Godhead with the help of our spiritual master, with the association of devotees, and through the knowledge of scriptures. That's all about. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhu, for summarizing it so beautifully. Okay, so there doesn't seem to be any more any additions. So, Nandaraj Prabhu, can we?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you very much for a very wonderful class. So much elaboration on this verse. I seem to have done a lot of research. Thank you, Mataji, for sharing your thoughts and realization. So we'll end here. Her Grace Radha Padma Mataji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktan Goptan Hari Hari Bol. Vancha Kalpatru Vesha,
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.